Through the cold and these ongoing outages, we want to be there for you every step of the way. So keep in mind, NES will be updating their estimates for when people's power could come back on twice a day. That means it could change, so it's a good resource to check. Meanwhile, our Rob Coles talked to some folks in 2 different zip codes who are facing more cold and dark nights.
In Green Hills, zip code 37215, Jennifer DeStefanis' house is chilly to say the least.
So this is our upstairs thermostat, which is currently at 35 degrees. It's battery powered.
The fire and heaters blasting with help from a neighbor's generator can only do so much. Thankfully, she's got neighbors nearby with power.
Approximately 10 homes received power, and now this whole side of our neighborhood on the left-hand side, no one has power.
But that's got her concerned that NES may have forgotten half of her neighborhood is still out. She even received a false notification saying her power was back on. I reached out to NES about this. They said when just a few houses in a neighborhood are out, it's called a nested outage, and it happens when a primary power line is restored, but the damage in another part of the grid is blocking the power to those homes. Most important thing to do is keep reporting to NES that you have an outage. At last check, her power isn't estimated to be back until February 9th. Potentially a long wait for her and a tough time for her 82-year-old neighbor without power as well.
And so another week is a hard pill to swallow.
She's hoping for better communication from NES going forward.
When you get in these dire situations and you know nothing for 48 hours, it can really take a toll.
Meanwhile, in Goodlettsville, zip code 37072, at last check, Joel Marquez's power wasn't expected to come back on until February 9th as well.
It is a long time for us. We're spending a lot of money every day because we cannot cook. We can do anything over here.
He says he and his wife, Melissa, are spending around $100 a day on fuel for their generator and food since they aren't able to cook. Melissa is having to even improvise ways to stay warm. She's also hoping for more communication from NES, letting folks like them know what's causing their outage.
A lot of people don't have the access that maybe some of us younger ones do. Communicate. Come up here. Walk these houses and let people know. This is where you can go for food. This is where you can go for shelter.
Whether in Goodlettsville or Green Hills, people will be counting the minutes until the power comes back.
During a winter storm and winter surge, it can be very hard, especially no power, no heat, dealing with these frigid temperatures. No hot water, no gas or fuel to cook anything. Let's go over into this next video.
We need timelines. Residents are tired of just sitting in the dark and being told, you just need to wait.
Continuing coverage now, about 24 people gathering outside National Electric Service headquarters tonight. They are demanding answers about what they consider the utility's poor response to this winter storm. Fox 17 News' Hope Salmon outside NES right now with more on the protest this evening. Hope?
Out of the at least 24 people that were out here tonight, they say that they do not have power yet and they're tired of waiting for help. Cold, tired, and frustrated. Residents are still without power, demanding answers.
Our apartment got down to 34 degrees. Luckily, we were able to find a generator to have some heaters, but it's not great.
Joseph Hill is one of the people who organized tonight's protest. He's concerned for the people who don't have access to resources, like his 90-year-old neighbor. Hill says the big question is why NES won't hire more linemen.
The fourth one came out to us today and said that there was hundreds of local linemen waiting and they were turned off.
In Laverne, the mayor says there's an even bigger problem. He says the city hasn't had any response from NES and more than 800 people are impacted. Mayor Jason Cole says he's reached out to NES and Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell for a timeline on work but hasn't heard back.
We need timelines. Residents are tired of just sitting in the dark and being told, you just need to wait.
Fox 17 reached out to NES asking about Laverne, but so far no response. In a news conference earlier today, NES spokesman Brandon Whitlock says it's challenging to add crews not familiar with the NES grid.
Our number one priority is the safety of the line worker and the safety of the public. We have to control the high voltage energy so that we don't create an additional hazard. That takes time, that takes a process.
All power will be restored in the next 2 weeks, but Nashvillians say that's just too long. Reporting live in Nashville, I'm Hope Salmon, Fox 17 News.
In the next 2 weeks, all power will be restored. 2 more weeks, some people might have to wait. But let's go over into this next video. It's a short that this dude has been making, and it's been going pretty viral, where he talks about day by day what he's going through and what he's hearing on the scene as a resident who's dealing with this. So let's get into it.
All right, this is day 8 without power here in Nashville, and I thought I would share this letter from Metro Town Council to the Nashville Electric Service. It says, "Dear members of the board of Nashville Electric Service, many Nashvillians have been without power for over 120 hours. They sent this yesterday. There will be a time to figure out what went wrong and why we weren't ready with shelter, plans, communication, and resources. Right now, the most pressing issue in my mind, aside from making sure people have food and heat, is to get information on when power will be restored. We were supposed to have a council briefing this morning at 9:30 a.m., a briefing that candidly should have occurred on day 1. It should have. We just received word that it was moved to Monday, so that's tomorrow. They put it off another day. I'm out of patience. Nashville is suffering and I can't stand by and watch. People have died. People are dying, which is true. People have died from carbon monoxide poisoning in their homes from trying to heat their house, and people have died from the cold temperatures. It's been below freezing for over a week now, and so people are literally freezing. I'm calling for the immediate release of a restoration timeline to all NES customers, stakeholders, and government officials, which they have now. They just posted it yesterday. They've given everybody a timeline. This timeline should include minimum and maximum estimates of restoration. Doesn't have the minimum estimates, but it does have the maximum estimates, which is February 9th, by the way. That's still another week. We understand that this is an estimate, not a certainty. However, we deserve to know the timeline. We understand the estimates can change, but without information, people have not been able to plan. Bingo. We've not been able to plan. If we had known this from day 1, we would have moved out of our house immediately. And I know that there's no way they could have known either. But 4 days into it, it would have been nice to know, hey, we're probably not going to have your power back on for 2 weeks. Now we have a long-term plan, but we would have done that earlier if we had known a timeline. Our neighbors have incurred unexpected expenses. Yes, they certainly have. Yeah, we had to pay for an electrician to come out and fix the line where the power comes into our house because they would not reconnect it until we did. And a lot of people have had trees fall on their houses. So the unexpected expenses is true. And in some cases have been put in grave danger. Enough is enough. So Nashville is fed up with the Nashville Electric Service. You guys, please keep praying for us. Pray for the guys who are out there working on the lines, all those linemen, and for the people who are removing all the trees and brush so that NES can come in and repair the lines. Things are still not great here. We're making progress, but just taking it one day at a time. So y'all.
That's all you can do. All you can do is take it one day at a time. Let's go a little AI breakdown because they did pop up something that I actually wanted to hear about. So there seems like some people have died because of this. But let's go over to this first. So as they said, as of February 2nd, Nashville is continuing to recover from one of the largest power outages in history following the severe winter storm. 23,000 to 25,000 customers remain without power across the NES area. That's Nashville Electrical Services. At the height of the storm, over 230,000 customers were affected. A restoration timeline. So NES estimates 99% of customers will have power restored by Monday, February 9th. So they got different trackers and everything. How many people have died? How many people? I said how many. Yeah, see, I spelled that wrong. Okay, here you go. At least they see AI knows. So at least 4 confirmed deaths are suspected to be related to the storm. Local emergency officials are investigating a 5th potential death of a 79-year-old woman found in her home without power or heat. TEMA, so in Tennessee, confirms 23 related fatalities across the state. So the broader storm system, which impacts Tennessee, Mississippi, and Louisiana, have been linked to at least 37 deaths across the 3 states. Wow. So the known causes, so you got carbon monoxide poisoning, extreme cold exposure, accidents during outages, hazardous conditions. A woman, so let's just read through. So 2 deaths are suspected to have been caused by improper generator use. And then you have a 92-year-old man was found in a home that had dropped to 47 degrees, and a 79-year-old woman had found in a home that was 44 degrees. Accidents during outages. So a 93-year-old woman died after a fall in an assisted living facility while the power was out. Oh, these are things you have to think about. When the power goes out, so many people are affected, and it just makes the death toll rise. And then you got a 46-year-old woman who died after falling down a hill in icy conditions. Absolutely tragic situation. But this is what they're still dealing with. And some people are saying that the reason they won't bring in more people, they're trying to say that because they don't know the system and it just caused more damage. That could be true. Some people might say, oh, that's because they don't want to pay the people the union rate. That can also be true. But something needs to be done. 8 days without power right now, about to be 2 weeks. People spending $100 a day just to get fuel and food. Something needs to be done. Better planning needs to be done. Absolutely tragic. Tragic situation. But we do gotta pray for the people who are out there working, trying to get everybody back right, because they are trying to do it. It's mostly on the higher ups who decide on how many more workers they'll bring in. But let me know your thoughts on that whole situation, y'all. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. Stay warm. Try to, at least.